right. Welcome everybody to this panel. Very exciting Bangalore/Nairobi collaboration. My name is Valentine Jorge and I'll be your moderator for this session. And very quickly, I think I just want to ask you to introduce yourselves and tell us your name and what is your activism, what you actually do, and also something interesting and fun about you. I think we'll start in Bangalore with the lady at the back in yellow.
Hi, I'm Diana, and I'm from Society for Informal Education and Development Studies. We are women's rights movement. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can you tell us something fun about yourself?
I dragged her today to come.
Okay, so we'll come back to Nairobi. And I'll say lady in white and act like I don't know your name.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Modoni Maingi, and I am an activist who is focused on inequalities, mostly around women's rights, but also LGBTQ+ rights. Fun fact about me, I love swimming. I actually swam for Kenya at some point in my life.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Are you an Olympian?
I swam for Kenya since from around 6 to 18.
Okay.
Yeah, to Africa level.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Good to meet you.
I could.
Okay, back to Bangalore. Shall we come to the front row and you in blue? The beautiful royal blue.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರುಕ್ಮಿಣಿ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಗಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಗಾರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Okay, thank you. And we'll come to you, who's right next to me.
Hi, my name is Fatma Mohammed. I work for Northern Nomadic Disabled Persons Organization. It's called NONDO. We advocate for the rights, inclusion, and participation of persons with disabilities from nomadic and pastoralist communities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Fatma. Good to meet you. And we'll go back to Bangalore. You're seeing what I'm doing. I'm alternating. Does somebody want to put up their hand and say they'll introduce themselves? Maybe in the back row.
Hi.
You were touching your hair.
My name is Shakun. My name is Shakun, and I work. I'm Diana's colleague in Center Society for Informal Education and Development Studies. We address gender-based violence in all forms. Something fun about me. I like to travel, and I think I've traveled 1/3 of the world. And I would like the other 2/3 to come. I think.
Very nice. 1/3 of the world. Maybe you're not having our accessibility issues.
I've been to Nairobi 3 times.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay. Lady in the red hair.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Valentine. Good. I think it's afternoon even in India. My name is Wanja Maina. Most people just call me Wanja. I'm very happy to be here. What interesting thing about me is like I prefer to write with a pencil other than with a biro. So most of the time, like when I'm even in the most serious of meetings, I'd rather have my pencil, a rubber, and a sharpener. I just feel good when I'm writing with a pencil. I would say that my activism, it's more or less, I would call it intersectional activism, in the sense that I really try to focus on issues of young women and people with disabilities, because there's a very, I would say, a gray area when you are young, you're disabled, you are a woman. So there are some intersectional challenges there. I also like to do my activism writing. I have a blog that is called Hummingbird. So there I just write the things that I feel like.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it inspired by Wangari Maathai?
Yes.
Yeah, so our only Nobel Peace Prize winner in Kenya used to talk about the hummingbird and how you start small and it grow what you're doing grows.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank
I'll
you.
look for that. I'll look for that blog.
Thank you.
And okay, it says our internet connection is unstable, but we'll power through. We'll power through. We have two people in Bangalore that we haven't met yet. Can somebody put up their hand? Maybe you in the white.
There are actually more people. There are
Oh,
actually more
are
people in Bangalore.
you? I can only see 6 of you.
There are 8 of
Oh.
us inside. Can we do 2 at a time so that you know there are more of us?
Yes, please. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Utanshi. I am from an organization called One Future Collective, where we work on issues of social justice with a focus on gender, labor rights, and mental health and feminist leadership. One fun fact about me, I also like swimming a lot. I'm not a professional swimmer as like my colleague there, but I am also someone that swims on a weekly basis and I really enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, great to meet you.
Likewise.
We have another speaker on this side.
Hi, my name is Kiran Naik. I'm working with the transgenders and disability people and last 15 years. So I'm orthopedic disability and female to male transplant. So I like my driving, but some traffic police is exactly how are you old? So that is the thing. What's your age? What is your age? Get off. So every time wheelchair person looking in the our age in the low. So that is the big comedy in traffic. Thank you so much.
Okay, I didn't hear all that. Did you guys hear it? I think we have a bit of an interruption with the sound. You sounded a bit muffled. I think I got your name is Kiran. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. But I didn't, please repeat what you said. We missed it on this end.
Kiran, repeat. Okay. My name is Kiran Naik. I am working with the transgenders and disability people, person with disability people. So nearby Bangalore, one of the district. So sex, sexuality and gender issues focusing to our areas in and one of the joke already I told, but I repeat now. So I'm driving to our own car. So that time is every time a police, traffic police stopped to my car and told me, first, how are you old? But I'm is asking to my age. So 35. Any proof? You want yes, all I have proofs. So that is why he is asking. Anytime in wheelchair person looking to down and age is low, no? That way. Every time is more than comedy. So that is a small comedy I will share with you.
Okay, thank you. Did you guys get that? Okay, okay, thank you. And then we have one more person on this end. Go ahead, Mikan.
Hi everyone. My name is Rachel Mwikali. I work with Coalition for Grassroots Human Rights Defender, or AKA Pussy Power. Is a social movement of grassroots activists and feminists and community organizer. And what I do, for me, I believe human rights or feminism is indivisible. That's why I stand for human rights for all, with a feminist and intersectional perspective. Anything concerning human rights and a special passion on also choice movements. Yeah.
Okay, great. Who hasn't introduced themselves?
There are 2 of us here who haven't. I'll go first, and they are. I'm with
Okay,
David.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see me. I hope you can, but I'm pretty
I
loud.
can see you, but I can't see the 2 who haven't introduced themselves yet.
It's just me and Ambika behind me. I can go
Oh,
first.
right, okay. Okay, hi, I can see you. Okay, go ahead.
Fantastic. I'm Dea. I'm with Avid. Super excited to be here. I thought I would talk about swimming, but clearly that's not going to be it. I'm not unique. But I will say something fun about me. I have a very fun dog. He's 3 years old. His name is Astro, and he's an absolute ass. Like, he makes me run after him quite a bit. That's something fun about me. Ambika?
Yeah, hi, can you see me now? I'm Ambika,
Yes.
I'm also David. Fun fact about me is I have spent the last month of my life planning this. So I'm very excited. I'm having fun now.
Okay, thank you, Ambika. Thank you for putting this together. We appreciate it. So very quickly, I think, Noni, I'll just jump straight to you. Can you tell us what is CSW? And what was your experience getting there? Because I believe you and Fatma have both been. So
I've not been.
Oh, you haven't been?
No, I've not.
Okay.
I've organized for people to go, but I've not been.
Oh, so
Yes.
maybe we start with Fatma. You can tell what it is and what was your experience getting there, and then you can tell us, just in case you doesn't touch some of the inaccessibility, some of the accessibility issues.
All right. The CSW, the Communities of Women, is a global annual event that happens in New York and around early March for 2 weeks. And this is where, this is the only intergovernmental body that exclusively promote the rights and empower women. So I was lucky to attend the CSW in 2018. And it was not an easy journey. First of all, for us to attend was young women with disabilities. For us to attend, a woman with disability aggressively looked for funding and made sure that we attend the CSW. But before that, getting the visa, I got the visa, but my assistant was not able to get the visa. And this was a challenge for me because I am a visually impaired person. I needed the assistant. So I had to rely on the women we went with for me to be to navigate around the CSW building in just New York. And it was very hard for me because I had to go with the priorities of the people I relied on to attend the events. And most of the times I missed out on some of the events I wanted to attend because I didn't have my assistant with me. Yeah.
Oh, because they went there with their own agenda and their own meetings that they wanted to attend. So you end up missing on some of your.
Not really. There are a lot of things that happen at CSW, a lot of events that happen at CSW. So for me, I might be interested in some, which my colleagues might not be interested in. Everybody is interested in their own side.
They have their own agenda. Yeah. I'm going for 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And you're going for 4, 5, 6. So you end up going for theirs.
So I ended up going for theirs most of the time because I didn't want to be alone and I didn't want to, I didn't know the events where they were happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's mentioned visa issues, also just general accessibility. What are some of the things that you see coming up with CSW?
So I think the issue of visas is definitely one that's a big one, but even in terms of people getting the support that they require. So you have a lot of women for who this is the first time they're traveling abroad. They aren't necessarily fluent with how things work and everything else. But at the same time, they also have to go through the frustrations of not just the visa applications, but being able to prepare, being able to understand how the different programs work. And so it's exclusive, not just from an accessibility in terms of disability inclusion, but exclusive even in terms of language and certain literacies, if we can put it in that context. There are certain literacies that exist for you to navigate these spaces. And so I think if we if they begin to center the people that are actually affected the most by the work that is done in the design and the approach of the conference, and the location of the conference, more importantly. So I think that's a very, very key aspect of it. And also the fact that, as I mentioned, for me, it was that I was organizing for people to go, but that was with organizational backing, right? So where there's no organizational backing, even if you know that the people doing amazing work, they are not able to actually access these spaces. And organizational backing in this sense is you're able to provide a bank account and say it's coming from your organization. You're able to provide certain per diems or certain expenses that you're going to cover over and above that. But where that doesn't exist, then the person is left struggling essentially on their own. And in most cases, they're not going to make it.
Even something as basic as an invitation letter.
Correct.
Like this is a global space, so you should be able to say, I'm getting up and I'm going because I have something to say. But you need somebody on that side to kind of validate that what you're bringing has value, right?
Yes.
And then send you an invitation letter so that you can even begin the process of attending.
And you have to work with an organization that's willing to take the risk on their end for you to go without you being their employee, which is also another conversation.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So our panel in Bangalore, you've understood what CSW is. Do you have a quick question, or do we dive into the quiz, the accessibility trivia quiz? Is there a question, or we just dive right in?
I would like to say something. I have been to see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We have a question here.
Go ahead,
A
Shakul,
comment
I can hear
here.
you.
Okay. I've been to CSW 20 years ago. It was totally different. Everybody had to come from an accredited organization. And also, like, there were continent-wise meetings before the CSW happened in UN, which was very helpful because you come to know your local issues and you already form coalitions of support there. And then you go to New York, and there it becomes easier to, sort of divide your issues, and then we all meet in the evening each time and discuss these things. But this year it is happening. Now it's happening very differently. So I hear my friend there saying that you struggle a lot being alone and you don't know where to go. It's like a huge maze. And if you, it's much better if you within your area, within your country and your neighboring countries, make kind of a group of friends who are going to CSW, so that when you go there, you have your support system.
Okay. Thank you, Shapul. It sounds like you need to start planning to attend CSW about a year in advance. Like you need to network, get the accreditation. It might take long to get the visa, putting the money together. And then there's also the traveling while black. I don't know if traveling while brown is the same thing, where you're the first person picked out of a line, but we'll come to that. I think let's start with the quiz. And I'd like to do this. I'd like to read out the questions. Where did they go? I'd like to read out the questions just so that we move at the same pace. You guys have the quiz on your end? You folks have the quiz on your end? Okay. So, ladies, you're good? You will have a wonderful experience easily understanding everything that happens at CSW if you can communicate in A, Kannada, Tamil, Hindi, and French. B, Spanish, Aymara, I hope I said that right, and Mandarin. C, Swahili, Embu, Oromo, and Arabic. I can already tell you that's not happening. And D, just English. Sorry.
Just English.
It's just English. So they don't make any translation efforts, interpretation.
You know, we have never gone there.
Sometimes they have in French and Spanish.
Okay, so Spanish and French. Any Arabic?
Well, I think Arabic, yes, but now the little or the much I know about such languages, it could be maybe if there's a side event called maybe Girls in the Middle East, like it's really very targeted but not like really mainstream.
Or not for the general conversation.
You know, like
it's for
there are a
like,
lot of side events. So
okay.
I would imagine that they would have maybe that when they're dealing with a particular specific constituency. But I still believe that English is superior to all in terms of how it is made to look here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
UN
thank you for that
languages.
insight. And then number 2, you got to a CSW event just on time, but it's the wrong room. And the right one is on the other side of the huge UN building. So do you A, run because you are fit and strong and get there in time, but very sweaty and frazzled? Do you B, sit down and cry, your shoes are killing you and it's late in the day? Or do you C, try to find someone to tell you if your wheelchair will carry you there safely and there's nobody around? Or D, take to Twitter to share just how CSW is not a space for everyday people? Twitter might be your best friend at this point, right? Someone might see and come and help you. Right? This has happened to us. This just happened to me today. I went to the wrong co-working space. I went to the old Ikigai and I was able to at least call and get here. But it is stressful. You arrive sweaty and frazzled. And okay, number 3, which attire will surely get you past UN security? A, your traditional dress. B, that cool shiny miniskirt your pal lent to you. C, a suit and tie. What else? D, I don't know if I'll choose this one. Forget capitalism t-shirt and a bandana over your face. I can see you getting arrested. Forget getting in if you have a bandana over your face. So yes, even the way we dress is a hindrance to getting into these spaces. Meanwhile, we have so many beautiful traditional outfits. I mean, just look at all our hair, right?
The Indian sari.
And the sari. And yeah, again, beautiful hair, not typically like white. Are we allowed to say white?
European
Caucasian dress.
standards.
Okay, number 4, given your current organizational budget, where are you most likely to stay if you attend CSW? A, always 4 stars and above. That's organizational policy. Oh, tell us your organization if this is the case. And B, my friend has a couch. 25 of us are sharing an Airbnb. We laugh, but this has actually happened at some UN event. Are the parks open at night? Is it very cold? Oh my God. No, we don't want this. It's winter in New York right now. We don't want you on a park bench. But actually, when you do travel for conferences, where do you end up staying? Can one of you in Bangalore tell us, like when you've traveled for conferences, even if it wasn't CSW, where did you end up staying?
Invariably friends or
Friends or relatives.
New York.
Everyone says friends here.
Or relatives.
Aha, so with friends. And you got, where did you stay?
I stayed at Airbnb.
How many people, did you share a bed or did you have a room?
I shared a bed.
You shared a bed. Okay, this is what I've heard about. Like, you know, you go for these UN events around the world, you end up in an Airbnb, the price triples the week before everybody gets there. And then you end up sharing a bed. It's an overcrowded. So C is typically most people's experience. Okay, number 5, who is most likely to get past immigration at the New York airport with minimum or no hassle? A, an activist with a backpack and many revolutionary stickers on it. B, a nice middle-aged lady activist with a passport full of stamps from around the world, like Shapul. Someone whose gender is not that easy to guess. Do you think they'd have an easy time? Or someone who speaks no English?
You suffer.
I mean, if you think about if somebody like Winnie Byanyinima could be stopped at the Swiss border going for a UNAIDS conference, it was a UNAIDS conference, right? I mean, anybody's fair game.
Right.
right? It's to your point of traveling while Black, even worse, traveling while Black and African. Traveling while Black and African with specific passports.
Yes.
Because I think as Kenyans, we have a lot of privilege, but there are a lot of African countries that don't have the same privilege. So there's so many layers to it that it transcends even how respectable you look. You could land there with a suit.
Yes.
And still you won't go through.
I was stopped in Dubai and asked, it was years ago, they had these containers, and I think they were building some part of the airport. And this lady, then they pull women out and they don't search you in public. So they put you in a little container. So this woman comes to search me and she's covered up, much like Fatma. And I was like, no, you take your thing off. We're two women. You see me, I see you. And she was taken aback, like, why are you demanding this? And I said, if you want to see me, like you want me to remove any layer of clothing, start and I will follow your example. But it's such an invasion of privacy, some of these so-called security checks, right? And they only pick on Black and brown people. I've never spoken to a white person who had that experience of being yanked out of line and taken to a small room. Also, I was traveling with my mother, like, and she's always looking respectable. Maybe I look something, but you know, so I that really annoyed me as well. I felt the discrimination. Okay, so number 6, if you take opioid substitutions therapy, what do you do if what do you do? A, don't bring it and research for methadone when you land.
Nairobi, hi.
We didn't hear
we
you.
have a few experiences on this side.
We didn't hear.
Yeah, I was saying we have a few experiences on this side.
Oh, sorry. Thanks, Dea. Go ahead.
I feel like the quizzes come, getting us to a point where we are thinking of our own experiences.
Yes.
And Kiran wants to share something that he has gone through.
Yes. 2019 ನಲ್ಲಿ yes 2019 ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು UNCRPD ಜಿನಿವಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ದುಬೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸೊ ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಬಾಡಿ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ತರ ಇತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಬರುವಾಗ ನನಗೆ 45 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪೊಲೀಸು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತುಂಬಾ ತೊಂದರೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನನಗೆ. ದೆನ್ 45 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 18 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಇಂದ ನಾವ್ ಯಾರು ಹೋಗಿದೀವೋ, ಸೊ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ ಮೇಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ವಿಚಿತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ದುಬೈ.
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks for sharing that. Even though I missed some of it, the translation is not really, is it working for you guys?
It's not working, but I guess I've understood a bit.
Yes, I think we understood you also from your body language and the little bit of English in there. So thank you for sharing that.
Can I just,
Yeah. So we can
can I just tell you, just the Kiran traveled to Geneva for the UNRPD. No?
Yes.
UNRPD, and there the flight went via Dubai. And in Dubai, the security were asking, like when Kiran said that I'm a trans man, so and the name on the passport is a woman's name. So there was a lot of discussion on who should check you, whether a man should check you or a woman should check you, who should check you, those kind of things. And it's quite embarrassing actually. Like 45 minutes he had to wait in the airport. Airport security.
Gender issue.
Okay.
Gender, trans people face a lot of difficulty.
So Kiran, let me just follow up. So you are him, her. Sorry, he, him. He, him. So who would you have preferred to search you?
He is him.
Would you have preferred a man or a woman?
आपका pronoun है he him, है ना? In कौन आपका security search.
He would prefer that a man checks.
But different gender, he is low in trans, so that way that time is not a top surgery. That time is how to press your. She is pressing. It's harassment, no. So that time is I will stop to my checking, and then I will speak and I will call to my colleagues and my friends, and then come. This is harassment. One side is harassment. One side is so he is asking the wrongly questions and check to how to touch to my body. I'm a wheelchair person. He is looking to me, but he is you get off and. What happened? You're not a disabled. You get off. You're not a disability person. You're looking very smart. So differently he is asking. So disability person is a big color. Doddu color. So biscuit ella transfer ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So he's smuggling. ಅದರ ಅವರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದಾಯ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಿಂದಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು.
He was actually at that time he had not had his surgery. So this man was the security man was touching him on the breast and saying, "How is that? You are a man and you have breasts," and all kinds of things. Then he started saying, "You are a disabled person on a wheelchair. How do we know that you are not smuggling something?" And he says all these people have use all these things to smuggle. So I mean, like it was really harassing for a long time until Kiran got his friends to call them, and then he was let off. But the whole thing took about 45 minutes.
Yes, 45 minutes.
Apart from the
that's right.
harassment, the trauma. Rukmini has something to share too.
Sorry about that. But then also, I guess it's complex because sometimes there's a religious restriction, like Muslim men too. So that's a difficult one to, like, what does an airport
see
say?
the person, the subject is there. So the question is, it's not upon the security people to brainstorm about themselves. It's up to them to ask them, now that you're here, how can we best serve you? So for me, I'm just saying that in the end, sort of revolving around, why should you debate too much about to decide whether it's a man or a woman? The person is there. How can we best serve you? Like the way, just as the way you must, the way you must, where you must, are you a he or a she? Just the other day, like 2 days ago, I was in a Zoom interview, and the first question that the people asked me was, what is your gender pronouns? Then I was like, whoa, these people are so sensitized to these issues of gender issues that they decide. So I'm seeing it as such an easy homework for this person who is, I would say, different, with a lot of sensitivity. When I say different, to be asked, how can you best serve you? It's as easy as that. But now they can say, me, I feel like this, or I also foresee a situation where it can be embarrassing.
Yes.
Because, you know, you're in a, imagining you're in a queue, there are also other people going to London, I don't know.
And you feel the pressure, and maybe you have to catch another flight. So you're like, it's taking so long, right?
But airports are supposed to be inclusive for international audiences. So it's not about religion, because there's people who are not religious working in an airport. There's people, you know, so I think it's to also have some kind of influence around how these sort of like international spaces, because an airport is an international space. It's not national, as long as you're not in domestic. So I think it's really about sensitizing them, as you said, and also for them to actually be sensed, because that is opening people up for harassment.
And communication, I first communication is such an important issue. How can we de-escalate the matter? Because I'm imagining from the description, there must have been some drama in that place.
It also sounds very suspicious. Like, why were they assuming that what Kiran is saying is not true? This accusation that you're in a wheelchair.
Right.
Like, that is so off.
But maybe I can add. Sorry.
There's a lag here, but I also want to acknowledge that Rukmini also wants to talk about her own experience. There's a little bit of lag, and we can't seem to like get your attention. But now that we have, Rukmini also wants to talk about her own experiences with access. If you'll have us talk a little bit more.
ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಇಂಡೋನೇಷ್ಯಾಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೋ ನಾವು. ಇಂಡೋನೇಷ್ಯಾಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ನಾನು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ನಾವೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಟೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಸಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋದೋ. ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಟ್ಲದು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ. ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ನನ್ಗೆ ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ ಅಂತ, ನಾವಿಬ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮು, ನೀವ್ ಹಿಂದೂ, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಗ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನ್ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನೀವ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಅವರೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ ನೀವು, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಸಿದ್ರು, ನಿಮ್ದಾಗಿದೆ ನೀವ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ನೀವ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಅವ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ವರ್ಕರ್ ಅವರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತೆಗ್ಸಿದಾರೆ, ಏನೇನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಾ ನೀವು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, ನಾನ್ ಬರದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಲ್ಲ, ನೀವ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಿಮ್ದಾಗಿದೆ ನೀವ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಕ್ ನಿಂತ್ಕೋತೀರಾ, ನೀವ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸುಮಾರು 1 hour ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬುರ್ಕಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ 2-3 ಸತಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಲೇಡಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಕೈ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆಗ್ದು, ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಪ್ಯಾಡ್ ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗ್ದಾಕಿದ್ರು ಈಚೆಗೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ಬೇಜಾರಾಯ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನ್ ಬಂದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಆತರ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಬೇಜಾರಾಯ್ತು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ನಾವು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮು ಹಿಂದೂಗಳು ಯಾರು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೊಲಿಗಾಗಿರ್ಬಾರ್ದಾ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದಾ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಾರ್ದಾ, ಟೂರ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದಾ, ಏನಿದು ಇದು ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ನನ್ಗೂನು ತುಂಬಾ ಬೇಜಾರಾಯ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಅವತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ನಾನ್ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಬನ್ನಿ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ನನಗೆ.
This happened in India. I'm just if you're not getting the translation, I can translate. Okay. Rukmini is the president of Garment Labor Union, and at one time, once she had to go to Indonesia for a meeting with a colleague, with a member of the union, and member of the union was a Muslim woman, and she is a Hindu. So at Bangalore airport, well, they were saying, how can you both go together? You are a Muslim, she is a Muslim, and you are a Hindu. So you cannot be traveling together. And that's sudden. Then when Rukmini tried to say that I'm the president of the union, etc., tried to explain, they told her, you just stay away, because she's a Hindu. They said that you just stay away. But for her, they really harassed her. They opened the bag and they threw everything around and checked every little thing. And it was really very insulting and quite traumatic. They had to catch a flight. So then Rukmini had to intervene and then repack everything. It took a long time, but she was the garment worker who she was taking. She said, I'm not going to come. I'm not going to travel, because she was really traumatized. In India, there's a huge problem with Hindus and Muslims being together. It is surprising that they did it at the airport. You would expect that that to Bangalore airport, So
and to impose their own discrimination on you
that's
guys, even though you're not having an issue.
Yes.
So okay, but we have to move on. So okay, question number 6. If you take opioid substitutions therapy, what do you do? A, don't bring it and search for methadone when you land. Or B, hide it in another medication bottle. Or C, don't take it while you're away and hope for the best. Or D, declare it at the border and most likely get denied entry. This is a tough one. Most people on opioids are in so much pain.
Yeah. So the thing about prescription drugs is you must carry the prescription in multiple countries.
Right.
And not just the prescription, but the amount of medicine for the time that you're there. So you don't carry the full pack of pills.
Then with COVID, what if I test positive for COVID and I now have to stay an extra 7-10 days or 2 weeks?
So that's the thing. If you have the prescription, technically on your travel insurance, you should be able to get more because you have the prescription. However, if we think of our context in Kenya, most people can't even afford to go to a hospital for a prescription.
Yes.
You go to a pharmacy near you. Like if you're the kind of person who should be at CSW, right? Somebody who isn't privileged and everything else.
Or even if you have all that, and maybe you're like Fatma, who got there without your assistant.
Correct.
And like you're visually impaired. So how do you even go about getting your prescription filled, even if you do have it? right? Can we hear from you in Bangalore? What do you think of question 6?
Medicines in your suitcase.
Yeah, normally we carry, it's not so difficult in Bangalore to get your prescription filled.
Yeah.
And we also have like generic medicines available at a lesser price. And we normally take the medicine, and I agree with the colleague who they will ask for the prescription. At least in America, they always ask for the prescription. And also, you have to, if you have, like I had a recent operation and I had to have an iron rod in my arm. So I had to carry the hospital certificate saying there's an iron rod, because there you have to lift up your hands and scan you. They don't touch you.
Right.
So,
Have you
Okay. Yes.
Kiran?
ನಂದು ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕಾಮಿಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್. ಸೊ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಬಿಗ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟಾಪ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಟಮ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಟಾಪ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯಾವ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು ಫೆಲೋ, ಅವನು ನಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾಗ ಅವ್ನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪೀನೆಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಭಯ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ನನ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಂಥರ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದು 35,000 rupees ಹಾಕಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನು. ತಗೊಂಡು 6 months ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ನ ಭಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳದೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಥ್ರೋ ಔಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟಾಯ್ಲೆಟ್. ಡಸ್ಟ್ಬಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ಎಸ್ಟ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ದೇನ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟುವರೆಗೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಏನಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಐಟಮ್ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಮೆಡಿಸನ್. ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಅವರು ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಬರುವಾಗ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್, ಒಂದ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕಾಮಿಡಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾ.
Kiran has an incident where another trans man, his friend, was traveling, or had to travel, but he had a top surgery, but not the bottom, the surgery for the lower organs. So what he did was he had bought a plastic penis, and he was using that, and it's pretty expensive. When he went for the checkup, like when they said you have to come for the body check, he was very confused. What if they find the plastic this and then so he didn't ask anybody. He just took out the penis and threw it in the toilet. So
Clearly, there needs to be a lot of education in airports and around travel, especially on transgender issues.
There should be an education for the security people in the airports.
Right.
Gender sensitization to airports.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Kiran and Shaful. Okay. Question 7. Sex work is not legal in your country, and therefore you have a criminal record. What do you do? A, lie to the visa officer. B, share that you are a self-employed sex worker proudly at border control. Or C, ask a friend to join you and pretend that you work for their organization. Or D, stay home because it's not worth the trouble of even attempting to go.
Anyway.
I think you just
lie. Me, I'll go with 2 options. Either one, you lie, because also you need to have the access. That's the reality. Sometimes when some of us, for you to get some visa, you have to lie. Like when even you ask questions, because already being a Black young woman, and also let's say from a community where your bank account does not translate, you are asked to come with a bank account, maybe to work. It does not qualify in the job description of this capitalistic system. Or secondly, ask like the mother is saying, ask your mother, could you please write me a letter? And for me, the reason why I'm saying this conversation should be important is our system in traveling, especially to attend foreign CSW, that is for you can't access, like even you can hear.
Hi, Nairobi, can you hear us? I don't know, if it could be our internet.
Yes.
It could be our internet, but we did not catch.
Did we have?
We had unstable internet. Could you repeat? I'm very sorry.
And now?
Yeah, now it seems okay, but technical glitch. This is the first day, so please repeat. It was a good story. We were getting somewhere.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes. So I'm saying I'll go with two options. One, I have to lie that I'm not a sex worker for me to be able to access that space. Or secondly, I have to ask someone to write for me a letter in these big institutions that have quote unquote credible or brand, but not credible in terms of work, because also grassroots we do a lot of work. And you find the way I was explaining is some of this system and even accessing CSW and travel space is meant for a certain class of people and a certain class of professionalism. Because even when you're asked to bring even bank accounts, you can't say I'm an activist who is not paid and I get my money on casual basis, maybe doing casual jobs. You give me a visa, they deny you, and which has become hard. And the last month I had an experience of a friend of mine. She's a leader of a sex worker union, and she was going to Colombia for a women meeting, but the letters had the logo of their organization, which is very clear, it's a sex worker organization. And she was harassed and deported back to Kenya because she's a sex worker in that country, sex work is legalized. She was traumatized, she was mishandled, even her things didn't get to Kenya the time it's supposed to get to Kenya. So for me, these are the realities even CSW need to discuss. That you make this space accessible, and you can see community expects you have been to CSW, but even you yourself, you have no access. But even you accessing it's a problem. The fact of your age, where you come from, and even the politics we push, you're never welcome. Mama Kanisa. And as we are not Mama Kanisa, women of church. So you find already the way the system is designed is not to make us survive. And these are the things many people never say, but we have to lie to access these spaces. Even you write you're an accountant and you have never accounted anything.
Does someone in Bangalore want to share something? What would you do with this sex worker question? Or even something else that you might do that is illegal, maybe where you're from, and it might even be legal where you're going, but would you disclose that information in the visa application?
So recently, sex work anta kottidare in the
No, it has not yet.
legal.
No, the thing is, in India, sex work is neither legal nor illegal. Yeah. But there's a very getting a passport, or I think normally what we agree, like they would go from an organization, and the organization would give an ID to them, introduce them. And now we are trying to get labor cards, Ishram cards for the sex workers, so that they can be recognized as unorganized. But they won't declare. I agree with the Kenyan friend who said that they won't declare in the official records that we are a sex worker yet. And they are still fighting for the right to call it work.
Yes.
Call it work. Okay. I think let's jump to our last question, and then we'll take a break and come back and continue the conversation. If you are applying for a visa to attend CSW, what information is immigration likely to ask for? A, financial records. B, proof that you have a place to stay. C, are you in a relationship? Do you have proof? D, all of the above and many more intrusive questions.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah.
I think that's a global thing.
Volunteers to just come in. That issue of asking my dad really has thinking behind those questions is that you're assuming that if you have kids and a family, you have something to come back to. So in itself, it sort of then says you have kids, probably not gonna come back again, you don't have any familiar ties. So I see it as the question that has an implication mostly even on women who want to explore and attend those UN spaces, but also issues like financial statements. We know
Nairobi,
I think when Joanne sent me the email, issues around marginalization impact.
Are you you had hang for a bit, now you're back.
You are still hanging
did
for
you miss
us.
some of what I just said?
I feel like we should come back to this question. I think we're going to use the break to figure this out, to figure the tech glitch out. Because for you, you are heavily pixelated for us, and we can't hear you all that well. But we definitely want
pixelated. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely want to deliberate a little bit more. I think this room definitely wants to talk a little bit more about that last question.
Okay.
But we also are, the tech glitch is not working for us.
So we take a break and come back, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. It's been really insightful so far and hearing your experiences. Okay, so we take a break.
Cool. Then we come back in 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Bonjour, coming.
Just registration. Organization registration.
And here, no, we can ask for accreditation, but they will have to go out.
Normally, if you belong to an then it's much easier. So even now, this time with our CSW and our I know that there is this whole UN like a couple of people trying to got it together and they've all applied together for exams. And then they going. Yeah, this time.
So I am accreditation, we are not giving any volunteer.
Yeah, even for most, we should apply to most events and these places. Thank you. So I felt very happy. Then I realized we have to fees to go there and to do
our we were holding small side visits in the UN canteen and
that makes so much sense. One Future Collective is a feminist social service organization in Pan India. Remote. Where is it? Yes, we don't have an office. Okay. We have different team members. Yeah, I was also going to ask you for it.
Last time to do.
Should we go out?
Check?
Yeah. You want water? It's a bag. Okay, but I was